MT8 LT6 seminar on operations with radical expressions. First thing I want you to do is want you to do the first 5 questions and we will go over them in class. Reason we're doing this. Tsunamis are a series of waves primarily caused by earthquakes. If you heard about if you ever been to Hawaii, which I think some of you have, um, some of the buildings are tsunami resistant. So the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration operates 2 tsunamis warning centers that monitor seismic activity and oceanograph data. They use the formula V equals the square root of G times D, where G is the acceleration due to gravity and D is the water depth, to calculate the speed of tsunamis at various places projected to find the path of the average speed. With this information, they can determine how long it will take the tsunami to reach land. They can issue warnings and they can evacuate areas. So we have the tsunami warning sign here. Remember, radicals are irrational numbers. They go on forever and ever. So we don't necessarily want to do those with exact answers, or we can't get an exact answer if the decimal goes on forever and ever. So we write it with a radical. So today we're going to add and multiply and do a little division with radicals. We do radicals just like we're doing algebraic expressions. Notice, here's an example. 5a plus 3a minus 7b plus or minus 2b. 5a plus 3a is 8a. It's not 8a squared. Remember, when we add the coefficients. And then 7b minus 2b is 5b. I can't combine 8b and 5b because a and b are different. So that's what we're going to do when we add and subtract our radicals. So if I take a look at example 1 here, I got 4 square roots of 5 plus 3 square roots of 7 minus 2 square roots of 5 plus 7 square roots of 7. I'm going to combine my square root of 5s. So 4 square roots of 5 minus 2 square roots of 5, well, that's 2 square roots of 5. And then if I take 3 square roots of 7 plus 7 square roots of 7, I get 10 square roots of 7. And I can't take that any farther because 5 and 7 are not like. Well, if you take a look at example 2, you're saying, oh, I can't combine these. But they're not simplified. So I'm going to simplify the square root of 75. We know from what we did in the previous one, that's a square root of 25 times the square root of 3. So that's 3. Let's try that again. That's 5 square roots of 3. But we have a 3 in front of that. So my first term is going to be 15 square roots of 3. Now that's a hint. I got a square root of 3, so I'm wondering if my others can be simplified like that. So I'm going to take 6 square roots of 48, and I'm going to say, oh, that's a square root of 3 times the square root of 16. I know 16 is 4, so I actually got 4 times 6, 24 square roots of 3. So it's minus 24 square roots of 3. I'll do the same thing here with the square root of 27. So the square root of 27, I'm going to guess 3 goes into it, and I was right. It goes in there 9 times. So it's 3 square roots of 3. So it's minus 3 square root of 3. Now, what we're going to do is they're all square root of 3, so we're just going to combine our coefficients. 15 minus 24 minus 3 gives me negative 12 square roots of 3. That is my exact answer. I don't have to do anything else with that. Now, if I take a look at example 3, I'm just multiplying. Well, that we did that yesterday, but let's just review. 5 times 4 is 20. I got the square root of 3 in the square root of 6. So I like to simplify them first rather than multiply them first. So the square root of 3 times the square root of 2 is 6. And notice I got 2 square roots of 3. So that is 20 times 3 times the square root of 2. 20 times 3 is 60 square roots of 2. And we get our exact answer is 60 square roots of 2. Just like yesterday, no decimals today. At least no rounded decimals. Now, if I've got something I'm going to distribute, I'm going to distribute that 4 square roots of 7 to each of these. So I think I'll do that first. 4 square roots of 7. 4 times 2 is 8. And I got the square root of 7 times the square root of 8. I can't break down 7, but I can break down 4. I'm going to try that again. I can break down 8. So the square root of 8 is 4. And so I got 8 times 2 times the square root of 2 times the square root of 7 from my first term. 8 times 2 is 16. 2 times 7 is 14. Seems like you could simplify that, but it doesn't. It's 16 square roots of 14. Now I'll do the same thing in the next one. Oh, look how nice that works out. 4 times 3 is 12 times the square root of 7 squared. So that's 12 times 7, which is 84. So it's the square root of 6. Can't keep on saying that. 16 times the square root of 14 plus 84. And there is operations with radicals, short and sweet, into one seminar. Woohoo!